I had an 8-year secret relationship with my best friend's brother. One day, I accidentally discovered that he had purchased a unique proposal ring. Filled with joy, I followed him to the meticulously arranged venue, only to see Ethan kneeling on one knee before a woman who bore a striking resemblance to me. Tears streamed down his face as he vowed that she was the only one he would marry in this lifetime. After his proposal was accepted, a few of Ethan's friends congratulated him while teasing him. "Finally, your true lover has returned. So, when do you plan to let that stand-in golden canary at home go?" one of Ethan's friends teased. Ethan exhaled a smoke ring, his gaze dark and unreadable. "That poor girl loves me to death. She can't live without me. Let's take it slow and deal with it later." When he saw the photo I posted announcing my marriage, his face turned pale in an instant. After finishing the call with my mother to confirm the arranged marriage, I immediately booked a plane ticket. Forcing myself not to dwell on what I had just witnessed, I returned home and started packing my belongings as quickly as possible. When I went to the living room to grab something, Ethan came back. He reached out and hugged me, his face lit with an unprecedented joy. "Kate, I love you so much. Let's be together forever, okay?" he said. He leaned in, trying to kiss me, his breath reeking of alcohol and the overpowering scent of gardenia perfume clinging to him. Now I finally understood. The one who loved that perfume, and the one Ethan truly loved, had always been another woman. From the very beginning, he was only trying to recreate a replacement. A wave of nausea surged within me and I dodged Ethan's approach, yet the desire on his face didn't fade. He suddenly pinned me against the door, his cold hand slipping under the hem of my shirt. "Ethan, let me go!" I shouted. A flash of surprise crossed his eyes. I had never acted like this toward him before. Just as Ethan was about to speak, the doorbell suddenly rang. I opened the door and a woman rushed in, hugging Ethan and quickly planting a kiss on his cheek. When she saw me, her smile was so bright that it almost hurt. "So, you must be the one who's been by Ethan's side for 8 years, Miss Kathleen Johnson?" "Hello, my name is Catherine White and I'm Ethan's fiancée. Thank you so much for taking care of him all these years." The strong scent of gardenia filled my nose with every movement she made, and it was exactly the same as the perfume on Ethan just now. I didn't move, only looked at Ethan. He paused for a moment, then quickly avoided my gaze and nodded. "Yes, she's the secretary I mentioned to you. This girl doesn't earn much, so I let her stay in the guest room here. It's convenient for her to help me with some miscellaneous tasks." Catherine waved her hand dismissively. "Ethan, why are you explaining it to me again? I'm not some petty woman who can't tell between work and personal matters. And besides, since Miss Johnson and I look so much alike, it's only natural that having her around feels more familiar and comforting for you. Speaking of which, I should thank Miss Johnson," she added. "By the way, since Miss Johnson is familiar with the layout here, could you please move my luggage into Ethan's room? We're getting married soon, so it's about time we start living together." Catherine excitedly ordered me around, and Ethan didn't show the slightest sign of opposition. I thought back to the many times I had begged to move into the master bedroom, only to have Ethan refuse, citing that couples need their own space. It was only when the mood struck him that he would allow me to stay in the master bedroom. If I accidentally left something behind, he would put on a cold face and remind me to be more mindful of boundaries. I used to think this was just the naturally self-disciplined and reserved side of Ethan's personality. In the end, I realized it was because, in his heart, I was never the one to hold the position of the mistress. Ethan suddenly pointed at his phone. I lowered my head to take a look and saw the message he had sent in the chat box. "Baby, my marriage with Catherine is just in name only, a facade for the sake of the group's collaboration. Don't misunderstand." I couldn't help but laugh. Ethan still thought he could fool me like a 3-year-old. It was fine. If he said his marriage was fake, then let it be fake. As long as what I had was real, that was all that mattered. I didn't want to ask any more questions, but Ethan grabbed my hand with a stern face, his tone anxious. "Why are you packing your things out of nowhere? Answer me." I turned my face away, not wanting to respond. After shipping my luggage back home, I went to the office to print my resignation letter, ready to hand it to Ethan personally. On the way, a message from him popped up. "Baby, I went too far with my words yesterday. I ended up staying at the office to work and fell asleep there. I just woke up and I'll head back soon." I lifted my gaze to the empty office in front of me and placed the resignation letter on Ethan's desk. I didn't reply to his message. Instead, I exited the chat and removed him from my pinned conversations. A red notification dot appeared in my contact list. It was Catherine sending me a friend request. I hesitated briefly before accepting, and immediately, a message popped up in the chat. "Ethan, don't forget to buy more condoms when you come back from the convenience store. You were too wild last night. You used up all the ones we had at home." The message was followed by several shy emojis. At exactly the 2-minute mark, Catherine deleted the message. I'm so sorry, Miss Johnson. I sent that to the wrong person. You didn't see anything, did you?" A pang of bitterness surged in my heart. I had no interest in playing along with her charade, but my fingers instinctively tapped into her social media feed. One post after another unfolded before me, like a film reel playing out in front of my eyes. It turned out that Catherine had been back for an entire month. During this month, Ethan had been sneaking around, taking her to various places to enjoy themselves. Looking back at the dates, I realized these trips were all during the times Ethan claimed he didn't want me to be overwhelmed with work and deliberately assigned tasks to other employees. He would always hold me in his arms, coaxing me with sweet words. All right, once work isn't so hectic, I'll take you there." I waited for 8 years and never saw him find the time. But when Catherine had only been back for a month, he suddenly was no longer busy. I was too naive. Ethan had been evasive about our relationship for 8 years. I should have realized long ago that he never loved me. Just as I was about to close the app, a new photo from Catherine's profile popped up. The background was a large bed, with Catherine wearing a revealing camisole, her slender fingers tracing the man's firm, muscular abdomen. It was a live photo, and when I opened it, a familiar Kate echoed in my ears. I had heard Ethan whisper it countless times in my ear with a seductive voice. Kate. It turned out that the name he had always called was never mine. Tears finally streamed uncontrollably down my face, landing precisely on the caption beneath Catherine's post. The beautiful memories of last night. He said, a fake is just a fake. It can never compare to me, the original treasure. I wiped away my tears and absent-mindedly tapped like on the post. Turning away, I left the company and ran into my best friend, Sophia, who was there on business. Without hesitation, I told her the news that I was about to go back and get married. Sophia's face was filled with shock. Is it really happening so suddenly? Does that mean we won't be able to see each other again for a long time? I helplessly nodded, but before I could say anything, she pouted and grabbed my arm. Kate, you always said you were too busy with work, and I never had a chance to get my mom to meet you, my best friend. Now that you're leaving, there's no way you can back out today. So, you must come with me, no matter what. And just like that, I found myself being dragged by Sophia to attend the family dinner her family was hosting that evening. I had always avoided Sophia's invitations because Ethan had told me that he would wait until the day he officially revealed our relationship before bringing me to meet his mother. After all these years together, I never got to experience that moment where he would introduce me to his family. To my surprise, now that I was about to leave, I finally had the chance. After finishing my styling, Sophia and I arrived at the Clark family residence, only to find that the family dinner was already halfway through. Ethan stood next to his parents, with Catherine by his side. Various socialites and influential figures came forward to offer their blessings for their engagement. It turned out that tonight's family dinner was organized to officially announce their engagement. It seemed Ethan couldn't wait to announce to the whole world that he was marrying Catherine. I instinctively wanted to leave, but Sophia had already grabbed my arm and was pulling me toward them. Dad, Mom, I brought my dear best friend to meet you.